Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How is everyone doing this Tuesday evening? Yes, the weather is nice. No more rain today. The sun is out. So, how is everyone feeling today? Hopefully, everyone is doing well and you are taking care of your physical and mental health, which is important. So, today's topic of discussion is going to be taking care of your pain as a using grief as an outlet. It's okay to allow yourself to cry. That's important because that crying is an outlet for the pain related to the loss of a loved one. When I was growing up in my house as a child, I was always told what goes on in this house stays in this house. So any traumatic experiences that I may have had as a child due to situations that are of no fault of my own, or things that I had no control over, if I displayed certain types of emotion like crying, I would be told, wipe away those tears, stop crying. What goes on in this house stays in this house. However, I was for I was they forgot to tell me that when you do this, you're not dealing with the situation, and especially if it's a situation that scars you, you're not healing yourself from it. Because as a child, the things you go through, and if you know you're taught to ignore it, as they say, put on your big girl panties, and things like that, and you're traumatized and scarred from these situations that took place, but no one is addressing it, as we were growing up, as I was growing up anyway. It's like, okay, that happened. Now you got to put on your big girl panties and you just have to keep it moving. And some of these things were traumatic. And if you don't heal them, you carry them over into adulthood. That's a fact. So now, with this trauma and this whatever it is that you're not going to address because you told as a child you can't. So as you become an adult, you carry these things with you. You take them into your personal relationships and into your personal life. Everything that you do, you're affected by not healing those childhood wounds. And now, on top of that, you have this grief of loved ones to deal with. So, if you pile all of that together, that's a big mess. And you're trying to pretend it's not there. And I did that for years, people. Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. But no, in reality, it's not, because as you pile up all these things, one day it erupts like a volcano. And these are the things that I was dealing with, all these different things I had to deal with. And when the grief took place and the loss of all these people, one example besides my mom and dog that I talk about all the time during a shutdown, I used to volunteer during my spare time. Like during my break from work, I would once a week volunteer at the soup kitchen at one of the churches in my neighborhood. And I befriended a woman there who was like a supervisor, actually a supervisor there. And we became really good friends. And she was only a few years older than me. And during the shutdown, when people were just dropping like flies, they found her. Um, I don't know if I believe she had a heart attack, and they found her in her bathroom on the floor. And that funeral I was able to go to because I think it happened a few months after my mom's funeral in April, my mom's passing in April of 2020. And let me tell you, I had a real hard time because I said, wait a minute, I just spoke with her 2 days ago. We were supposed to meet, hang out, have some uh, lunch together or whatever. And she's gone. And when I said, no, that's not. No, she's not. I just spoke to her. Life is so short, people. We don't know when our last day is on this earth. So we need to heal. We need to address things. And even in relationships, when problems and situations occur, people just, some people, including myself, I used to do the same thing, just pretend it's not there. It'll go away. Just ignore it. It doesn't go away, it just piles up with the other stuff. So that's why it's so important to take care of these things. Because in my case, I didn't take care of a lot of stuff. I just, made excuses for it. And even with people, as I said in previous videos, making excuses for them and, dealing with severe toxic behavior from other people because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Well, just ignore that because he or she will get better in time. They're going through something and etc. And no, it's not like that because if we don't address these problems, they're going to get worse. And one day it's going to erupt like a volcano. And in my case, that's what it felt like after all those losses, on top of childhood trauma and not taking care of it. And having coming from a family who didn't really believe in therapy. We don't do that. That's for people who have some real, you know, psychiatric problems. And it's not, in those days, that's how people thought. But today we know mental and physical health is important, that we take care of it because none of us are perfect. We have flaws, all of us do, and we need to address those issues because, like I said, not addressing them mean that they can get worse. And not only get worse, they can affect our mental and physical health in a negative manner. And we don't want that. Because without that, we can't take care of ourselves and we can't surely take care of anyone or anything else. It's important to address those issues and not to be ashamed of any of these things because we all are human and we all fall short and we have problems, but handling those problems and taking care of it, you know, shows that we want to be better and get better, and that once we get better from those things, we can help other people. Because in the world we live in today, other people are struggling. People are struggling. But some people are not talking about their struggles because they may be ashamed to, or they may be taught the way I was growing up. You don't talk about these things, what's in here stays here. And that's not the way to handle these matters because they're just going to grow worse. I had to learn that, doing therapy, and it's okay because I feel better. I am better because I still have my moments of grief. Like I said, sometimes, I may see something or hear something that reminds me of my mother or, my dog and other friends that I lost. And it's difficult, but, like I said, I stay in prayer. God helps me through these things. And time time doesn't heal it. You're going to always feel that loss, but it will allow you to get through these difficult times. And having people there who really care about you, and even if they can't, no one can do anything. You can't bring these lost loved ones back, but they can listen to you, and just sometimes people just need to be heard, you know and just tell their stories of what was so special, um, about their loved ones and a special relationship that they had with them, and a void that they're feeling. Just offer your condolences, and if you can be available to listen to that person and just sit with them, that helps a lot. I have done that also, not too long ago, with someone who lost her husband, and just sitting there and hearing them and letting them know that you care, that they don't have to be alone, means a lot to people. It goes a long ways. Trust me, it does. I wish I had that when I was going through, the difficult times. It's so important, and it just, And I'm here, I will talk about stories that, I would tell you guys of situations that I went through as a child and as an adult without giving a lot of details, because I want to help other people. I want people to know that I'm not just someone who's just on here talking about grief and healing, but I have gone through a lot of things that people are going through, like isolation, depression, and not wanting to do the work and not feeling well, but there we can get through it. It's important to know that you're not alone in this. It's important that you find a therapist who can work with you and help you through these problems, and get connected to a grief support group with other people who have lost loved ones, and they will share experiences of how they've gotten through this, and it may help you, and it's important to do that. And because there are people somewhere, there are a few people who are someplace, and they are grieving hard. Grief without getting any healing will lead to depression. The depression can lead to suicidal thoughts, and we want to help everyone, because once a person gets the help that they need, they start to slowly feel better. And as they feel better, they do better. And as they do better, they can be an example to others, to help others. As I said, and as I always say on this channel, I am not a therapist in any way. However, I am sharing my personal experiences with you guys here, because someone somewhere, as you share this information, who needs to hear it, will hear the message, and it will motivate them to Google and look for a therapist in the area, and then get connected to a bereavement grief support group, is what I meant to say, because it's so important. We can't do it alone. We need the help, and it's okay that we need help. We should never be ashamed of that. It's so important. So let's connect, and let's talk about it. I would prefer you guys to continue to share this channel with other people, because somewhere down the line, other people need to hear this. And I see that the channel is growing and expanding. So I see that you are sharing it. Continue to do so, because it's going to help others. And as I said before, that we were going to have a seminar next Saturday, the 15th. However, actually this Saturday, we were going to have a seminar, but because enough people did not RSVP, so I canceled the event, but we're going to reschedule. And I think what I would like to do is send out questionnaires, because I want to know from you guys what you want to get from this seminar, what you want to take away from it. And when you are available to attend, that's so important, because I provide refreshments, and I want to make sure that enough people are there to enjoy the refreshments as well as the seminar itself. It's so important to help people in the world that we live in today, because it seems like it's spinning mostly on misery, and people are not concerned about what's happening to other folks around us. And it's so important that they know that we care. Depression is, if it's not dealt with, it can lead to just so many things that it doesn't have to go there. And I'm talking from experience. And 3 years later, I am feeling better. However, I still have challenges. Like a challenge that I'm working hard through is to get to my mother's gravesite. And my therapist is working with me, and it's taking more time than what I expect, because every time we have this conversation and I say I'm ready to go, then I start, as the time draws near, I have these panic attacks, anxiety. And, my therapist is working with me through that, because I don't know how I'm going to react once I get there to the gravesite, because we never had closure due to the shutdown. And to see that in person, I don't know how I'm going to behave. It's just been hard, very difficult, and it's okay. My therapist has always said to me, you're going to have good days where you feel good, and then you're going to have those not so good days. But lately, it's been more good days than the other days, because in the beginning, for a long time, people, it has been the other way around. Now I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to be myself again, laughing and joking and being silly, and wanting to get out more, because it wasn't like that before. I just wanted to just be alone all the time. And sometimes that's not good either. Sometimes it's good to get out and be around other people. But, one day at a time, one step at a time, because nothing happens overnight. But sometimes it may take you longer to get through the process than others, but that's okay. Everybody go at their own pace, as long as you start to do the work so that you can feel better and not be stagnated. So please share this message with others, because people need to hear this message. They need to be uplifted and motivated, because like I said, we live in a world today where people just self-absorbed. It's about them and what they want. And hey, I got mine, you get yours, whatever way, it's not my concern, kind of attitude that's going on in this world today. So one thing I can say here as an affirmation to everyone else is, never allow anyone to turn your light off because they don't want to see you, because they want to see you stay in the dark. Never allow anyone to turn your light off because they want to see you sit in the dark. No, no way, And as I always talk about, for me, I had to rid myself of a lot of people out of my life because they um, were not there in my life to support me. They did not have my best interests at heart. And I had to learn that. And once I really saw that and looked at it, I had to set boundaries. And when boundaries were crossed over and over again, I just cut off, block, and delete. Because my peace of mind, my mental health, and physical health is everything to me. And I can't afford to trade that for anything. And, none of us can. Without our physical and mental health, we can't take care of ourselves, and we're no good to anybody else. And foremost, everyone, love yourself, learn self-love, not to be in love with yourself, but to self-love yourself. Because when you self-love and you love yourself, you're going to establish boundaries so that you're not taken advantage of. And then when people cross those boundaries, then you have those conversations, those difficult conversations, like I have done. So I'm sharing this information to help others. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and there'll be new um, videos in another 2 days or so. So stay tuned and look for those videos. It'll be new messages. And I hope everyone is doing well on this beautiful Tuesday. Everyone, continue to take care of yourself. And I will be back in a couple of days spreading love and light. This is Lisa. Everyone, have a good evening. Bye for now. Thank you for being here.